To complete 100% of Comic Book Store Simulator, I'm gonna need to build the greatest comic shop ever seen. I gotta stock dozens of different comic series, knock out all 50 Steam achievements, and earn over $5 million. I also gotta deal with some very suspicious cops, uncover the secrets of this weird meteor crash, and win a fist fight versus Naruto. Welcome to 100% of Comic Book Store Simulator. Spawning into the game, I meet my mom, who explains that she's giving us this dusty old bookstore as a hand-me-down. I just gotta clean it up and get it back up on its feet, so I do exactly that. I head in and learn a few of the basic controls. I learn about placing down objects, ordering stock, and filling up our shelves. My first comic book that I order is a manga named Detergent. Not Bleach, Detergent. As you might have expected, nearly everything in this game is going to be a reference or some type of parody on a real series. I set up the shelf and set up the price to be just a little bit under market price to try and incentivize some new customers to come into the shop. Our first customer comes in and this game gives the basic cashier simulator experience. He buys a copy of Detergent Volume 1, coughing up 15 bones in cash, and I give him $4.50 in change. Mom congratulates me, deciding to give me a little bit of a reward. Whoa, Mom, two bands? I'll take it. $2,000. Yo, Mom's got it, bro. As you can see, the pedestrians walking around the city are pretty unique, to say the least. Anyways, I throw out the empty box from my order earlier and continue my shift. Taking a look at some of the products I'm able to order off top, they've got 3 different categories of comics. We got Japanese manga, Korean manhwa, and American comics, with each category having their own group of licenses that I'll explore later. Of course, with each series being their own reference and having multiple volumes. A bit later into the shift, I get my first achievement for serving my 5th customer. Once the clock hits 10 at night, I close up shop by viewing the daily report where I can look at the stats for the day. On my introductory day, I served 6 customers, earning a total of $115. Not too shabby for the very first go around, but the next morning, something unexpected happened. What? Huh? No, you're lying. Yo, my shop. I have no clue what's going on. Mom has no clue what's going on. It's just crazy all around. But out of nowhere, these 3 men in suits walk up. Who are these guys? Yo, back up from my mom, yo. Yo, this goofy. Okay. Hey, is this your shop? Look at that on your... Okay. Yeah, this is my shop, bro. I want to buy it. More precisely, I'd like to trade my building for your shop. What do you say? I don't know, bro. Oops. Where are my manners? Well, let me introduce myself. My name is Max, a banker. The building I'm offering is way bigger than this shop. Plus, it'll be much easier for you to kickstart your business there instead of having to build this place from scratch all over again. You're not going to wonder why? Perfect. Come on. I'll take you both there right now. Like, I don't trust them. It's clean though. I can't lie, it's clean. And just like that, no questions asked, we've got our hands on a brand new shop, fresh from Mr. Max. Going to our office in the back, we find a little gift underneath the desk, and then at the computer, I hit the store app, where I buy some new shelves and a checkout counter. They're instantly delivered right outside, so we pick those up, and for completing the tutorial quest, we claim $400. We set up the 3 shelves and our checkout counter, then head back to the desk to learn about the skills app. If you haven't caught on, the PC is where we'll make all of our upgrades to our shop, our character, and pretty much everything in the game. The tutorial has us buy our first skill, Customer Magnet, which should increase the amount of customers we get on the daily. For starting out, they're practically handing us cash to get things started, as we get another $400 for completing that tutorial, and when we head over to this whiteboard, we can see our wall of achievement, where we can get even more money for completing various milestones. Next to the whiteboard is the calendar, where we can see all the significant events for the month. On days of specific events, those related comics will be able to sell at a much higher value, increasing our profit at 0 extra cost. I just gotta pay attention and set the prices accordingly, because it won't do it for me. We upgrade our broom on the tools app, claim the reward for completing that task, and now our goal is to just make it to day 3. Opening up the shop, I order 1 volume of 2 pies, detergent, and Nafutan. We stock up at market price and deal with our first batch of customers. A few sales later, we rank up to level 2, which is another thing that'll be crucial to 100% the game. As we deal with more customers, these dirty footprints and all types of stuff are gonna pop up on the ground, which we use our upgraded broom to take care of. But aside from that, day 2 was pretty simple. I decided to change the prices of the books to more even numbers using these 25-cent increments, so I don't have to do as much work handing out change. Everything will just be using dollars and quarters. as I used the profits from the day to buy a large book rack instead of the small ones that the tutorial had me buy. I'll buy a couple of action manhwa, volume 1 of Coolism, Slow Leveling, The Goat of High School, and Tower of Mods. I placed the rack down, and fortunately there are 4 slots so I can fit the first volume of each individual series on the shelf, stocking up cleanly. We throw out the trash, take care of more customers, and we hit our 10 p.m. mark, which is the end of our day. We 5x'd our profit from yesterday, serving 25 customers and selling almost 50 comics. And moving on to day 3, Mr. Max decided to give me a jump scare for no reason.
Oh, nah. Let's talk. Oh my gosh. What are you doing in here, bro? I thought we was gonna make a little phone call or something. Hey, I guess I totally got about to go over the contract yesterday, didn't I? Nah, you already let me move in, bro. You already let me move in, man. What? Even though you could use this building, well, it's not exactly free, you know? So I'll be counting the usage fee as a debt that you owe. I never said you could use this for free from the get-go, did I? I guess not, bro. Well, since you can't really argue with that, don't forget to pay up. How much is the fees, bro? Don't be nothing crazy. Open the bills app on PC. You can view and pay your loans and store bills. Oh, brother. Oh, that's decent. $10? Ah, 10 a day. That's light work, bro. Stop. Remember that loan? Well, so do I. It's time to settle up and keep the cash flowing. I have to pay off this $50,000 loan? Oh, Max, you something, bro.
This dude really forced me into a $50,000 loan without me even having a choice to accept or deny. That's crazy. Snooping around the PC, I do find that I can customize the name of my store, and appropriately, we call it F Max. Cause I don't know who he think he is putting a loan on me like that for no reason. Next, the tutorial has me go to the blueprint page where I get my very first store expansion for free. I claim the 2 tutorial quests and stumble upon these story quests, the first of which being the old bookseller. So I target that one and it tells me to go talk to mom who's outside.
Hey, honey, how are you? How's the store running? It's doing well, but not too bad. That's good to hear, kiddo. By the way, have you talked to your cousin yet? I'm worried about him. No. Could you visit him, please? I'm worried about his well-being. You can track your quest through the quest app. I got that. Yeah. Open your phone and mark the quest. Bro, I just marked this one. They got a whole little world in here. Okay. This is something. Respect. I like this. Now they're studying the thing. Bro, we didn't even get an opportunity to... Whatever, bro. Whatever. Let's talk to Cuz. Because of... Oh, my gosh. Cuz, come work with me, bro. You got a love for the comic books, bro. I can see, bro. Salam. Hey, man. Leave me alone. What? I gotta clean... You lucky you family, bro. He's so lucky, bro. Oh, we leveled up for that. Nice. Don't come looking for anymore. What? I'm so tired. I don't know what to do. I've read every single comic in the world. Just wait for the new ones, bro. It doesn't matter. They're all the same. Same ending, same story. It's getting repetitive. Then make one, bro. That's kind of fire. That's a good idea. But I don't have money. I spend it all on comics. Then sell them. I'm going to start from here. Thanks for the idea. All right, bro. Is it going to work with me? Is that going to be my first cashier? Wait, no, I said sell them. I guess, yeah, I am selling comic books, actually. How's he doing? We explained the story. Hope his business is going well and he can start making his own comics. What? I thought I was going to hire him to work for me, bro. I guess not. We open up the store for the day and we purchase and set up the 4 initial American comics that we start with. Sigma Man, Bedman, The Flashlight, and Working Woman. We do a whole bunch of cashier work and tidying up all throughout day 3 as we close it out to see our first $1,000 day, selling over 100 comics to our 29 customers. The next day, we meet back up with Salam and he's got his own bookshop going. He gives us this cardboard cutout and some cash as reward for helping him out. But then he turns around and asks for $1,000 in order to help some of his friends start selling their own up-and-coming comics. Basically, Salam can sell us a handful of regularly licensed comics at a big discount, but he doesn't have the full collection every single day. He only has a rotating amount of 3. And now that we gave him the 1,000, he'll also offer us these indie comics that we can't buy anywhere else, although they're not as cheap as the discount comics that he sells on the regular. We buy a couple comic boxes, stock back up at the shop, and we open our store. But before any customers can even come in, I get straight to the next story quest that pops up, the best ramen in town. Turns out that this is Namar, ramen backwards, real slick. But she asks us to deliver an order for her, and quickly we do, as she follows up if we can help her
promote. She's got her product all nailed down, but has been struggling with advertising and getting people in the door. I head out to go do that, but I catch up on my own sales first. I make my sales, clean my floors, do the whole woo woo woo, but then I head over to the park where I put up a poster on the wall. But as soon as I do, somebody pulls up on me.
What is this? Hey, you need a way to promote your business, right? What a coincidence. I'm the most skilled person in this field. Just for $100, your shop will become the busiest in the city. Trust Nafutan, the city's future leader. I guarantee you won't regret doing business with me. Sure, bruh. 100 bones. There you go, Nafutan. All right, thanks. I guarantee your shop will be busy soon. Just you wait. Okay, now we gotta wait until tomorrow. Okay, we got storylines going on. That's cute. That's cute.
After that, I don't really do much for the rest of the day, aside from reaching player level 5, putting up my cardboard cutout for the good vibes, and maxing out my XP for my store rank, giving me a challenge that I need to rank up in order to get to store rank 2. Day 4 ends with pretty similar profits to day 3, but just with a lot more customers served, which I guess is both a good and a bad thing. More customer interactions means more XP, which is good, but ideally, every customer would continue to buy the same amount so we get more XP and more money, but this is fine for now. On day 5, I meet up with Nafutan, only to find out that transformations are canon in this world. This is the real Nafutan, and the dude that I gave 100 bones yesterday was a scammer just impersonating him. Now, I gotta meet back up with the real Nafutan later tonight in order to catch the fake and help clean up the city. I get the squeaky clean achievement for cleaning up 10 dirty spots and then expand a bit with another shelf in order to hold some copies that I bought from Salam yesterday. The store rank 1 challenge was pretty easily completed, but then I get this pop-up warning.
Thief spotted. A thief has been spotted near your store. Quickly stop them before they steal your items. Where? Are you the thief? Where? What? Who's the thief? Oh, thief. Hold on, I need to use this. Come on. Come on. Come on. One more. There we go. Thank you. Not on my watch. Yes, sir. Give me this back. You're not stealing from me, bro. My hard-earned establishment. No, sir.
Anyways, since I hit store rank 2, I've unlocked reading tables, which I can rent out to customers in order for a little more passive income. There's a system in place so that the nicer the table is decorated, the longer the customer will want to sit there and spend their money. So I set that little tiny cactus plant from earlier down on the table in order to boost up its style a little bit, but I've still got a long way to go. I hit player level 5 and order an expensive piece of table decor, which should ship in a couple of days. Towards nighttime, I see my next quest, hiring staff, but it costs over $1,000 to hire my first employee. I just don't got that type of money. Instead, after I close up shop, I head over to meet with Nafutan, in which we set up a scroll as bait in order to lure out this imposter ninja. Of course, it works, and as Nafutan confronts him, the imposter produces a shadow clone, starting a fight between all 4 of us. I'm gonna be real, I was not expecting to get into a fight here. So he was able to get a few licks in, but at the end of the day, the real Nafutan and I win the fight as he finishes it off with a Rasengan. And after a good old fight, Nafutan is feeling hungry, so he heads over to the best ramen in town. As turns out, it was some good advertising at the end of the day. Back at the shop, I decided to just hire my first employee, leaving me only $30 to my name. But here she is. This is Fujimoto. She's gonna be my cashier, as I'm kind of salty about losing all my money to that. But then I remember that I can claim rewards, so I get basically a free $800 just like that. The next day, I wrap up the best ramen in town quest, as Nabutan loves the food, saying that he'll bring all of his boys from his village to come eat here, and Namar gives us a little reward for helping him bring in new customers. As I head back home to open up shop, for the first time, my shelves were dirty in the morning, so I get to use my duster to clean it up. I open up and Fujimoto takes care of the register as we put up this little ramen decoration from our story quest reward. At the PC, when thinking about ordering some more stock, I find the marketing page where I could purchase a few different services to attract more customers. I hire this maid cosplay girl for the day, and she starts doing her thing outside, hopefully bringing in some more profit. I go to Salam to restock whatever he's got and then order the rest from the Comic Verse app, as I get an achievement for having 20 customers use the read and share. Since Fujimoto is taking care of the register, I have some time to chill. I set my sights on the next story quest, but first, this new threat is a bomber trying to place bombs in my store. And then also we run into a ninja thief who's like 10 times faster than the normal one. After taking care of those, I go meet with this customer to start the next story quest, but this one's pretty plain. I just gotta order him a gift for his friend, so I do that and just wait for it to come in. In the meantime, I set up my reading tables with more decorations that I bought earlier as I take care of another new threat, just a higher level thief this time. I stock up and claim some rewards from the Wall of Achievement, and after purchasing some more decor, I'm at just under $5,000.
So I buy a brand new room from my Blueprint app, the storage room. Here I can obviously store stuff, but the magic is in hiring a stocker which can grab boxes from the storage room and fill up shelves on their own, so I don't have to do it by hand. At night, mom pops up in my office. These people gotta stop showing up here like they own the place. But she pulled up in order to give us a new tool, the scanner. Now, with this tool, I can just click on the shelves to make orders from my phone rather than going to the PC every time, which is just super useful in saving me time and a whole bunch of energy. My next story quest is giving this little nerdy kid some cash so he can get a haircut and buy some new glasses, so I do exactly that. And on the next day, when I pull up on him, I can't lie, bro. He looked fresh. He did all of this in order to get some more confidence and look cool to get some friends, but that's not the end of it just yet. After the store opens up, I restock from Salam and use my scanner to create a bit of a backup that my stocker can work from. Now, the most tedious thing is cleaning up all the dirty footprints and stuff from the ground, but it's relatively quick to take care of, so it's not a huge deal. I check the calendar and see that it's Heroes Day, which means I could turn my comics from having a $1 profit per volume to over $10 in profit per volume. I end the day with, you guessed it, more stocking and following up with some side quests. I give this dude the gift for his friend, and out of nowhere, Itachi pulls up trying to press him for wearing his headband, in which he mistaked for a rival village's headband. I don't know how, but this random civilian smacks Itachi up into oblivion. Next, I start another quest, Foodie King, which has Kid Pooh and Fat Pooh saying that they'll destroy the shop if nobody can defeat them in an eating challenge. Nafutan tried, but ultimately he failed. So I met with Unky, who I delivered the ramen to earlier, and the next morning he introduces me to his friend, a friend who would never lose in an eating challenge. We meet Jose. This dude heads over to the ramen shop and absolutely annihilates Fat Pooh. And while Kid Pooh tries to retaliate with an energy attack out of pure hatred and revenge, it just bounces off of Jose's stomach, summoning this spirit bomb burger attack and packing them both up for good as he just rolls off into the sunset. As I open up shop, of course, my first customer is the man himself, Jose. I decided to follow up on the quest with this little kid, though the only thing that happens is that somebody runs up and steals his glasses, and now we gotta wait until the next day in order for him to get it back. That's the one annoying thing about this game. Some of these quests progress so minimally every day that I just have to end up waiting to see where the story continues. It's not a huge deal, but it's low-key tedious trying to remember what's going on when I'm following like 3-4 different side quests at a time. I use my reward money to try hiring one of each marketing service for the day, just to see how it goes. As we get a look at the two people up front, the posters around the city, and the big old billboard in the sky, it might be worth it. I also purchased some skill upgrades and get 2 achievements. The first for having 100 customers use the reading tables, and the second for buying 25 decor items. Day 9 was my highest revenue day yet, nearly reaching $3,000 in sales. And on day 10, I reached player level 8. Also, filling up the store rank 2 bar as I get the store rank 2 challenge to complete. Fortunately, the only manual thing that I have to do here is use my tools 25 times. The rest is going to happen passively for my workers, so it's not a huge deal. At nighttime, we gonna meet up with that kid, and while he lost confidence because his glasses were stolen, our employee pulls up on him, explaining to the kid that confidence comes from within. And as it turns out, he was right. Cause the next day, when we got to go see him again, he's got his friends back and we get our reward. Fair trade. The rest of the day was nothing special. We set prices based on the calendar, restocked our books, and even did some of my own cashier work as I run into this number on the wall in the park lot.
Loving mother.
Where is my child?
I don't know if this is supposed to be a reference or something. I got no clue. I'm still working out the store rank 2 challenge on day 12, but I do reach player level 9. And towards the end of the day, I am able to finally hit story level 3. I claimed $2,100 from the wall of achievements, and for reaching level 3, I unlocked the ability to sell graded comics. It costs $1,300 on my Blueprint app, and upon purchasing it, I get this certificate of authenticity on my wall. Said certificate lets me sell graded comics in my shop, but it also gives me access to the abandoned comic factory, where we can dupe these said comics. I guess getting legitimately signed comics from authors is not something that I have to reach for, but with a stencil and a little bit of time, I can forge my own copy. In the abandoned factory, there's this poster on the wall advertising a gym or maybe a personal trainer. I'm not sure what the goal was, so I called to figure out. Sure. I pick up my freshly faked comic and buy a collector display back at my computer. We set it right up right there at the entrance, listing this single comic for a flat $50. On day 13, I see that I can hire another member, and upon hiring Dinty, the cashier, we crossed the $40,000 spent mark, earning us achievement number 15. Remember, there's 50 total that we have to get here, so we're 30% of the way there. Apparently, I wasn't done learning about graded comics because there's another aspect that I haven't learned yet: customer negotiation. Customers won't always agree to your prices, but that doesn't mean that they still don't want to buy them. You can head into this little negotiation phase where you can get a few opportunities to haggle back and forth on the price. As for this one, we end up meeting in the middle at $45. It's not as much as I wanted originally, but just about every single graded comic is going to sell for a profit. Since I buy them all pretty discounted in bulk, and I can sell one for much more than I can sell one regularly. So the price just works out. Profit is profit, and I'll take it. I do more restocking and cleaning, as I take a copy of Slow Leveling to the abandoned factory in order to forge out another signature. I'll pay a little more attention this time, attempting to be more neat and such on the guidelines, as I improve my original accuracy score from a 77% on my first attempt to an 88% on this one. I throw that on the grading machine, which takes about 45 in-game minutes, as I head back to the shop just to find this little snotty-nosed kid ripping up one of my comics. We hand out punishment and get an achievement for doing so. Then shortly after, I get yet another achievement for using my sandal for the 5th time on this thief. Back at the factory, we pick up our freshly graded comic, but it's only a grade 2 this time, selling for almost half the price of the first one. Though as we sell it to a willing customer, we suddenly are wanted by the police.
Do I gotta run from the cops for selling fake stuff? No way.
Yes way. Turns out accuracy is important. If customers realize that the copy that they bought is actually a fake, they'll report it straight to the police, so we'll have to watch out. When I see that Mambo prices are boosted on day 14, I take the most expensive one to the abandoned factory to serve as my base. In my mind, a significantly higher base price should mean that the graded version will be significantly higher as well, but with varying factors like the series itself, the grade, and the limited amount of experience I've had with graded comics at this point, it's kind of hard to tell. My first copy was a dud, so I ended up retrying it, and I realized that the signature changes randomly each time you do it. I thought they were tied to individual series, but it's completely random. There's like 10 that get rotated through based on the book, and whichever specific one you do, it's random. Arriving at Salam's place, I buy some more stock and see that there are more options than before. These books here are from the $1,000 that we paid earlier. I guess his friends had finally got the books finished, and now we can buy them as they rotate in their own little pool of 3, just like the regular 3 that he does in his regular shop. And I'm pretty sure that these are community made works, like community artworks and like custom little either parodies or even custom stories. I'm not sure exactly, but it seemed cool in concept. Picking up my graded Mawa, it's gotten a grade 6, which I go put up for sale. Turns out that the grading on comics are completely random. Throughout a good chunk of this playthrough, I thought that there were some factors that influenced it, like maybe popularity of the series or accuracy, the date, something, but it seems like it's a complete roll of the dice. I end the night by having my 200th customer use a reading table, getting our achievement for that, as in the next morning, I make my very first payment towards the debt that was forced onto me by Mr. Max. We pay off $1,288. I purchase some marketing, find this random gift of this cardboard cutout, and achieve my first 3-star accuracy on a graded comic with an accuracy of 94%. Since I have employees doing stuff back at the shop, I've been doing these graded comics in my meantime. I end up selling my 10th one, getting the achievement, What's a Graded Comic? And said comics are increasing my profit margins pretty significantly, so I end up hiring my 4th employee, Horikoshi the Stalker. This Talk to Fisherman quest shows up on day 16, but I gotta go see this fisherman at nighttime. During the day, amidst my normal routine, trying to take care of a ninja thief, I accidentally hit a civilian and then get into it with the police.
Like, bro, you know I was just taking care of a robber, bro. If you would do your job, then it wouldn't matter. Oh my gosh.
I'm offered to either pay a fine or get locked up, and I choose the latter. Being taken to jail, the only way to get out is to fight a police officer. Depending on the severity of our crimes, we're faced with a different type of officer. We were only on 1 star, so this guy isn't much of a problem. I beat him up with the sandal a few times and we walk away free. Fast forward to nighttime and I meet this fisherman that I was told to talk to.
This is, oh my gosh. This is hilarious. Going on his fishing rod. This is not who I expected, bro. I expected an old man. Go on, you look disgusting, bro.
The two of us get pulled up on by my new employee, Horikoshi, who explains that this pond is haunted by an evil ghost. Horikoshi knows of an exorcist who he's gonna bring tomorrow. So the next night, we go to meet with Horikoshi and his boy.
Hey, boss. It's the guy I was telling you about. Me and my friend Roji. Greetings, I'm Roji. I'm an exorcist. I took a stroll earlier and checked on the demons inside of the shrine. Apparently, its weakness is white flower. We need white flowers that will be placed on 3 equally haunted rooms. Now, I'll find the flowers. I got you, gang.
My job is to go and find these white flowers, which didn't take long at all. And Tanjiro over here is gonna go place the flowers inside of there to perform the exorcism. But shortly after he goes in,
5 minutes later. Oh. Okay, bro.
who are you guys? How dare you come to my place? Get out of here. I'll teach y'all all a lesson if you dare come back here again.
Roji's injured. I think he lost consciousness. I need to find help. Is it okay if you place the flowers? Yeah, bro. I'll place the flowers, bro. I got you. I ain't scared of no look. Oh. What is this?
There's no way this is what really manhandled Tanjiro like that. I run around the building, finding these spots to place these 3 flowers, trying to hide from this floating PNG, as that was all it took to complete the exorcism.
At least he gone, bro. At least he gone.
Boss, great job. You did it.
Thanks. I'm gonna take him to the hospital. Great work, boss. Thanks for being someone we can count on. These side quests be killing me, bro. Cause what did I really just do, bro?
Finishing up the quest, on the next morning, we get Tanjiro's blade as a decoration, $1,000 cash, and the ability to fish. I tried a couple times, but there really aren't any rewards that I'm even slightly interested in, so I just head back to the shop where I buy a few more licenses for the next volumes of manga that we're already selling. I set those up as long as a large book rack, and I throw out the small book rack on day 19, trying to replace it with this furniture that I got from fishing, but apparently this isn't for placing comics on. I don't know what's supposed to go on here, so I'll just replace the small book racks with the large one that I bought and fill them up based on series. I also go ahead and separate the manga from the comics, as I've decided that that's going to be my focus starting out. While dealing with another thief, I accidentally hit somebody again, and this time I get up to 3 stars. While hiding from the cops, I max out my XP for my store rank, giving me the rank 3 challenge. Though after some time, I just get tired of waiting for these 3 stars to go away, so I meet the cops head on, confident that I could beat them again.
Yeah. I'm not worried about you, dude. We are not worried about. Oh my gosh, who is this? Gojo?
This is when I figured out that higher stars equate to higher level opponents, though we still do give him that same treatment. He really wasn't nothing special. Day 20 was a bit of a snooze fest, as the only noteworthy thing that happened was the purchasing of a few more podiums to sell more graded comics. Then after hitting level 12 on day 21, I decided to upgrade my weapon so I could handle these thieves and, if needed, police even faster. Looking at these upgrades, they're dumb expensive for no reason. The first upgrade was nearly $1,000 and the second one was nearly $3,000. But we've officially upgraded from the original little weak body sandal to this Adidas slipper. After selling more graded comics, the police get notified once again, and honestly, it's starting to get annoying. I whoop on the 1-star policeman with my upgraded slipper and I get a little too confident. I start beating on these innocent civilians in order to get a look at what the 5-star policeman looks like, and for reaching 5 stars, they don't bring out the regular one, of course. They don't bring out Gojo, but they bring out a Marine Chief. It honestly took me a second, I don't know how, but after noticing his health, I genuinely couldn't believe it. I get one shot, and instead of charging this $1,000 for a 5-star crime, I get charged double that. And if that wasn't enough, once I got back, Naruto then stole from me, and then Bombi exploded all over my store, giving me another 4 stars just for that. On the bright side though, we do get another achievement for cleaning the 50 stains on the ground. Our highest comic grade yet showed up on day 22, where a copy of 2 Pies Volume 3 came out as a 9.4. As far as graded comics, I'm desperately trying to get my accuracy up, since getting flagged by the police is a non-stop thing. But as I lock in harder than ever to do my best one yet, it ended up as a 68.
What?
The most I've gotten is 94% one time. And while I know that accuracy isn't random, part of me wants to start thinking that it is. There's no way that I'm tracing these lines that bad. I start messing around with some different tricks, but I couldn't find anything that worked. I even tried lowering the DPI on my mouse so my strokes would be cleaner and smoother, but it had no effect.
65? That was, nah, bro. That does look trash.
My stroke of genius came on day 23 when I just decided to fill out a whole chunk of the square. My idea was that the ink outside of the dotted lines probably didn't matter as much as the ink that's actually in the dotted lines. So I just wanted to make sure every inch of it was filled out with nothing missing. And on my first attempt at doing that, I get an 85%. Then, proving that it wasn't luck, I get an 86% on the next one.
That's crazy. I've been low-key try-harding that, bro.
I continue to do this for more of the day, and eventually I get a 92%, which I was super proud of, but it only came out as a grade 3 out of 10 comic. I hate that accuracy and grade aren't correlated. The next morning, I have to start buying stock from Salam, who offers to us on a discount because I'm dead broke. And as for the graded comics, I finalized my strategy, scribble, and shave. I scribble along the lines and shave the edges. As I continue with that method for the rest of the day, I finish up by selling my 50th graded comic and getting an achievement for that. We wake up and get another achievement as well for buying 100 items from the comic shop. And it took long enough, but finally, we completed the store rank 3 challenge, unlocking vending machines.
Rank challenge, rank up. We level 4 now. 4 stars. Beautiful. Now I gotta buy a vending machine. Oh my gosh. $4,000? Are you serious? Yeah, y'all got it. Y'all got it.
It turns out that my next employee was supposed to be a cleaner that I unlocked at rank 3, but I need to max out both the mop and the duster in order to hire him. And we already saw how expensive those sandal upgrades were, so I definitely don't got the money for that. At night, I do some grading and I get a streak of 9s, following up with my very first 10, belonging to one of the community made comics, Rage Bait Mom. So I end the day quickly to sell it as soon as possible. The base price for this comic is $700. So you know I had to upcharge it to $12.50. I just can't let this opportunity slide. As some guy pulls up to buy it, we negotiated in the middle at $10.25. And I used the extra money to go buy one of these vending machines, a manga related one. Vending machines are just another way that I could bring in income without cluttering up my store. We don't need an employee to process the transaction. They just walk up, buy it, and leave. And the exact same day that I got it, I get the achievement for 20 sales on the vending machine, so it's definitely gonna bring in some good profit. On day 27, I decided to commit to only selling my most expensive manga. Across each series, they gradually increase in price as you go down in volume. And after unlocking volume 5 of each of the major manga series, I mark up the market price by a couple dollars and decide to only sell that. But quickly, I find out that since people can't find what they're looking for, they just decide not to buy anything at all, rather than only settling for what I have in stock. I try and offset the lack of sales by going to grade some more comics, but I put up a bunch of stinkers today. Besides one singular 9, they were all trash. Back at home, I upgrade the brush and the duster twice, spending thousands of dollars on it as I'm trying to get that cleaner as soon as possible. I'm manually cleaning every single stain on the floor throughout the entire day, and it just gets dumb tedious, but I'm still far off of being able to hire him. The next day, I'm at the PC browsing the shop to see what I could buy next. As I land on the Legendary Collection, I buy it and see that the Volume 1 is already leagues higher in terms of price than my current Volume 5s. The market price for Boys Leap section caps out at just under $15, but Volume 1 for the Legendary manga starts at over $20. I was getting stuck on upgrading just one collection, but that was completely unnecessary. I'm excited to look at Volume 2 for the Legendary Collection and see what the increase is, but it's just a little bit. The difference between volumes isn't really where the price jump is, it's going from collection to collection. I go make some graded copies for the Legendary manga, and leaving the abandoned factory at night, I run into this shady character.
Who is this? Hello, fellow businessman. You must be the owner of that comic book store. My name is Peleg, and I'm something of a businessman myself. Right now I have an interesting proposal for you. Selling mature comics in your store. You're interested, right, my friend? Excellent. For the next step, yo, he don't want to sell on Comicverse because there's too many restrictions. Please bring me the money as soon as possible. Sure, bro. Thank you. Now my people can start working on the website, but we've got a little problem right now. One of our programmers is on a strike. Can you convince him to return to work? He should be around here somewhere. His name is Ray. Find the missing programmer? Are we serious? I wasn't looking at his description. I thought it'd just lead me straight to him. Is this him? Who are you? You're Ray, right? Come back to work. Did Peleg ask you to come here? I don't want to. It's just too inhumane. Bring me a graded Wolf Fury issue 1, and then I'll consider it. From the Miracle Comic license. So I have to buy a license just to make this dude happy. Okay. I wonder if we're going to be able to sell those for for more, for the mature comics. It's crazy, but you know. Money's money, bro. We need to pay that $50,000 off. I gotta buy all these upgrades. Miracle Comics, let's buy it. Wolf Fury, sure, bro. I don't have $500. Are you serious? With $600, I should be able to buy it. Nice. Okay, got an 8-star little graded comic for him. Thank you. Now my collection is complete. Tell Peleg I'll return to work. Dear God, please protect me. Peleg. Excellent, my friend. The website should be finished by tomorrow. I'll come to your store tomorrow and give you the address. Oh, brother. What am I getting into? Just a little bit of...
Back at home, I take notice of the exclusive store on this iPad, which gives me the ability to buy exclusive licenses. It costs $9,300, so I gotta save up for it, but it being that expensive has to be a good sign. I reached level 14 before moving on to the next day, and we walk outside to see Paulette. He hands us this mysterious note, and as we take a look, it's got the website's URL on it. Here, we can buy mature comics, and it's got this special equipment that only mature books can be placed on. But first, I need to unlock the mature section of my store. We can't just have it out in the open with the rest of the stuff. That's crazy. But right now, it's just gonna cost way too much money because I need to unlock more sections of my store, which I haven't been doing up until now. So I'm far behind. I claimed a ton of money from the Wall of Achievement as I had a bunch of stuff there that I didn't even realize, and we end up with over $11,000. And while I do need to spend a bunch of money to unlock the mature section, I was super focused on these exclusive comics. I spent almost all of that $11,000 on buying this license, but seeing the first volumes, they only start selling for around $500. Buying a box of them for $500 is pretty disappointing. I thought the price jump would be way bigger, but looking at the actual market selling price of these comics, the margins are night and day in comparison to our regularly bought comics. It's the best of both worlds. It's pretty cheap for us to buy, and we get more out of it in the end. I instantly make an order, starting out with Full Patrol Arsonist. Of course, with these higher base prices, the graded comics gotta go crazy as well. So I go through the process of grading one, and I get a 9.8. As we head back to go list it, it has over a $500 base price, so you know we mark it up crazy. I begin to fill up the shelves with all the new comics that I bought, as the exclusive manga is Jobless. The manga is Full Patrol Arsonist, and the exclusive comic is Fantastic Floor. I closed up the shop that night, excited to continue. Most of the next day was just graded comics, as I had bought volumes 2 and 3 of Fantastic Floor, since that has the highest base price. As on day 32, I catch wind of the statue of graded comics, which is supposed to increase my chance of getting better graded comics. Something like this is a pretty big risk because we're taking these random odds that we don't know about and increasing it by a random amount that we don't know. But since I'm grading so many comics, it just has to make sense, so I make it my #1 priority. By the end of the day, I'm able to make the purchase since the exclusive comics have been selling crazy. And we also buy the Statue of Rank, which increases my store XP gain. Looking at the report for day 32, we make our most amount ever in a day, $12,000. The first thing I do on day 33 is go forge some comics to grade them. The statue, like I said earlier, doesn't tell me the odds, but the first one that I get is a 9.2. So now my priorities are keeping my stock sufficient to keep sales going on at the shop, and then creating as many high grade comics as I can to bring in extra income. I reorganize a little bit so that I can fit all 5 volumes across 5 rows of individual bookshelves rather than keeping one series to a shelf, since they only hold 4 rows and most of the time there's 5 volumes for the series. I thought that here my income would grow exponentially, but on day 34, I was real disappointed to see that I got a 5 when grading a comic. I didn't think that a grade that low would be possible after spending that amount of money on the statue of graded comics, so maybe it wasn't really as good as I thought. But since it doesn't tell us any numbers, there's no way to justify if this was just a super crazy 1% chance fluke, or if this is like gonna happen a third of the time, a fifth of the time, a fourth of the time. I don't know. I just continue with more grading, and at this point, I've unlocked and started to grade volume 4 of Fantastic Floor. I've caught on to a pattern that grades seem to come in waves. I started out the day with a 5, and then I got a 6, and then another 5, which seems super unlikely after buying the statue to increase my odds. But thinking about it earlier, I had gotten 9s back to back to back. There were some outliers in the group that trumped my theory, but I think that high grades and low grades come in waves. While reordering some stock, I get the achievement Swimming in Cash for spending $160,000. Kind of a weird amount. You'd think it'd be 150K or maybe 200K, but whatever. Then later on in the same day, we get the achievement for having 200 customers use the vending machines. By the end of the day, we've earned $13,000. As in the next morning, I buy the license to the final volume of Fantastic Floor, which is likely going to be the most expensive comic that I'll ever sell. We stock up on that alongside a bunch of others as I decide to pay off another $4,000 towards my loan, realizing that if I don't focus on it bit by bit, I'll never get around to it. And speaking of things that I never get around to, I finally end up buying an expansion to my store to try and reach that mature section. I unlocked it a little bit ago, but I haven't made any progress towards it. And even though I just said that, my motives are all over the place. Because on day 36, I start by spending my money on some duster upgrades. I pay off a little bit of the debt and go back to unlocking the second to last duster upgrade, but I've got to be player level 17 in order to reach that. So even if I did save enough money to buy it, I can't do it just yet. Fortunately though, while grading comics later on, I hit level 15, so I only have 2 more levels to go. Realizing that I'm spreading myself a little bit too thin, I decided to lock in on the mature section. And by nighttime, I have $11,000, enough to unlock the final spot needed on the blueprint, which lets me finally build this section of my store. Looking at the link that Peleg gave us, everything here is more expensive. And you know the rule at this point. Higher price means higher profits. Mature comics have their own group of manga, manhwa, and comic references. I'm not going to go through each of them, but they're there. After long enough, I finally place an order, and it turns out that the shipping for mature items is a little bit different than regular ones.
Yo, look at these boxes. Nah, that's hilarious.
We take these crazy boxes and go set up the special racks, podiums, and stock. Turns out we have a new quest and tutorial on envelopes. Customers will request these privacy envelopes for their mature comics. They don't want to be walking around with these freaky books in public. So I buy and place this envelope table alongside some stock. By the end of the day, I begin wondering if some of the graded comics are even worth it. I had made $18,000 and only $4,000 of that was from selling 7 graded comics. They take the same amount of time every single time, but the price isn't going to get any higher once we have all the comics available. Right now, it's the only thing I could do, but the idea is on my mind. Now that I have the mature section, I've got some more interesting characters to say the least. And while waiting for somebody to come to the envelope table, I max out my store XP bar, unlocking the rank 4 challenge. So far, everything is the same as the other XP challenges, but we need to have 30 people use the envelope table. And up until this point, we've yet to get one person to do so. So it's going to be a challenge. When we finally do get our first customer, we go through the motions as all we got to do is carefully drag the book into the envelope and seal it. Ignore that I placed the table backwards. I spend some money on upgrading my employees to make them move faster. Then I purchased a skill to make my customers walk faster. Day 38 was very straightforward, yet my most profitable, earning $20,000 in revenue. And the next day, I decided it's time to get $20,000 to spend on the statue of comics. After the first statues that I bought, my hopes weren't that high, but at the same time, if it's $20,000, it's gotta be good, right? So when I have enough money, I'll take a look at the profit margins for my comics right now, as the highest one is at $24, and it goes down about $1 with each volume. But after spending the $20K on the statue of comics, my new profit margins are nearly double that. Super worth it since it affects every comic that I sell. Even the original manga that we started out with have a much higher profit margin now. So everything is just going to be making me more money passively. That 20K is going to be made up in no time. I buy more reading tables to complete this rank 4 challenge because we're on day 40 at this point and it's still not done. Aside from buying more vending machines, we move on to the next day where I decide that grading books individually doesn't really give you that much profit anymore. So I decide to lock in on my store's regular book sales. I take care of some more boring things like paying off a little bit of the loan and buy more expansion sections to my store. As after buying another checkout counter, I hire my next cashier. Shoot, my next hire was the next day as we hire Shin, who's going to be handling the envelopes in the mature section. I purchased this statue of level to increase how much player XP I get as I still haven't hit level 17 yet. I feel like that requirement is way too high for unlocking the cleaner at store rank 3. But whatever, what do I know? I restock a ton more of mature comics as I'm really trying to flesh out every single option in my store. And eventually, I get the achievement for 100 mature comic sales. I purchase an upgrade to my broom and then head into day 43 where I buy this golden apron in order to make my employees that much more efficient. Once again, I don't really know what that means. It's real ambiguous, not giving any specifics at all, but at least we got it. I finally get the 30th envelope sale with our new employee, completing the store rank 4 challenge, maxing out our store level at level 5, getting ourselves an achievement for that. With our store reaching the max rank, I unlock the ability to sell merch. And looking at merch prices, they're in a different stratosphere than selling comics. I buy a rack alongside the most expensive type of merch, plushies. These plushies sell at $400 at their base price. Insane. I buy all types of merch products as by nighttime, when I'm filling up some comics, I finally hit that level 17 mark and bought the max level of my duster with only the mop to upgrade left before hiring the cleaner. Looking at my first plushie customer, they bought a handful of merch and brought in over $2,300. Which is a number unheard of if I was just selling comics. I get rid of a bunch of reading tables since we finished the rank 4 challenge already, as looking at the exclusive store, I see the merchandise statue. I buy it immediately and it doubles my profit margins on my merch, which means I'm making over $600 per plushie. I buy another merch shelf to sell even more plushies because the profits are just too good. I buy some sports manga to increase the amount of comics that I have since I want to just sell more in general, but then I load up on even more plushies, getting the achievement for making 20 merch sales. By the time I stock up the plushies that I spent $15,000 on, I'm already back up to $25,000 total. Now that money doesn't really seem to be an issue, I max out the mop and finally hire the cleaner, Tomino Roboto V41. Finally, I'm done cleaning up the shop constantly. That was a grind in its own, going to every single dirty spot, but now we've got this little guy to clean up for us. So the main priority is just placing orders and keeping the store running in stock. By the end of the day, I've over tripled my previous best day as far as revenue, making $85,000. $60,000. Of course, we spent more because the plushies are more expensive, but I'm confident that the profits are still extremely high. On day 45, I buy more sections on my blueprint as well as the next level of fleet-footed customers. So my customers are faster walking in and out, which should increase the amount of customers I get to just more money and more XP. Then I get the genius idea to cut my sales to only sell merch. It is comic book store simulator, but the plushie profits are just too nice. I remove all of the bookshelves, selling them at this little used furniture spot around the corner as I'll begin the loop of buying plushie orders and stocking them. At this point, I'm at $60,000, so I just start buying all the skills that I'm high enough level to, and of course, with that much money, I also pay off the rest of the loan.
Debt has been paid. Congratulations on being debt free. I can finally stop worrying about your loan, and so can you. Sure, bro. And this dude want to sit outside my place, bro. Like, stop it. All right, Max. I done paid off your 50K, bro, that you forced onto me. You seen I done. Let's do it, bro. I don't even got no words.
Ah, my good friend. Thank you so much for paying off the loan. Because you've paid all your loans, you can gain access to the second floor.
But of course, nothing's free. That's all? Oh, the meteor. Oh, they done got to the meteor.
Seriously? It's worthless?
Yes, it's very strange that out of all meteors I've studied, it's the only one that doesn't have any type of valuable material in it.
What a waste of my time. Thank goodness I didn't give away my building for free to that kid. Just go home. You're wasting my time and my money. Such a dumb investment.
Now I gotta wait till the next day for that too, okay?
I don't even know, but this is a prerequisite for getting the second floor. Though the upgrade itself isn't free. But of course, we got the money for it. Our store feels as empty as ever, but we're bringing in the most profit. As by the end of the day, I made $160,000. The next morning, Max pulls up on me.
Okay, Max, what's up, bro?
Hey, did you know about the meteor that landed on your old store? Well, it turns out it's filled with...
What? It turns out it's filled with extremely valuable materials. Do you want to buy it from me? Like, bro, I knew this dude was a snake, bro.
What? Did you hear?
Everything.
You know what? Fine. Take your worthless land. Nobody wants that piece of trash anyways. Do we build another one?
Wait, what do we do with this? Where's this going? Let's take a look at the meteor, bro. Are you serious? It's... That is the last thing I would have expected.
What are you doing here?
Who are you, bro?
Oh, we're aliens, and this meteor is actually our spaceship. By the way, thank you for getting rid of that scientist off our back. They're trying to tear the spaceship down.
You fell on my building, dude.
We're sorry about that. We came here because, according to our map, there's a comic store nearby.
But our spaceship malfunctioned and accidentally fell on this building. Why are you searching for a comic store, bro?
We're here to read Alien Adventure. We heard someone who's a relative to the comic book store owner owns the comic's last chapter. We're here to buy it from them. Can you help me track this down?
Like, bro, what is this book, bro? Now we gotta talk to Mom? Like, you can't bother to go and see the aliens for yourself, Ma?
What is it, my dear?
Explain. Oh, I've seen that comic in your brother's room a while back. By all means, he already has dozens of comics anyways. Go ahead and take it. Now we gotta run all the way back to... This game is comedy. Sure, let's take it. Let's give it to Nayla.
Oh my gosh, the last chapter of Alien Adventure. Thank you, kind human.
As a gift, I'd like to give you a teleportation device. Hopefully this gift suits your needs. Think of it as a thank you and a payment for wrecking your building. We'll be going now. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
What? Oh. And he's got one single hair up top. Like, what? What is this game? Can I do anything with this land since it's mine now?
No, I could not. But I could spend my money on upgrading my workers. We do have a ton of cash, but these upgrades are crazy expensive. So even with all of this new money that I'm making, I can't afford all of it just yet. I tried this new teleporter that I gotten to go teleport to Salam, but I just teleport right back. It's cool, but also pretty pointless. I've never really been on a time crunch in this game or needed to get somewhere super fast, so it's more like a novelty item. I fill up the rest of the expansions, finally unlocking floor number 2. And even after paying for all of that, I still have $75,000. I instantly buy the storage room up there and hire the rest of the staff, including 2 restockers and a security guard alongside a gift wrapper. I didn't even get into gift wrapping yet. That's for merch sales and all that, but we'll see that pretty soon. I take care of some side quests with the new employees that I got, and of course, they're as ridiculous as ever. I use my stacks of cash on day 47 to start unlocking what I can.
First, I max out my skills according to my player level and then upgrade my weapon to the steel boot. Hungry to test it out, I get 5 stars to get my run back versus the Marine Chief, as now each of my punches do 600 damage. Since he has 20,000 health, we need 34 hits to put him down, as the biggest thing now is defense. He does enough damage to one hit KO us, but fortunately, his attack pattern was easy enough to learn and dodge, so victory was ours. Unfortunately, the cutscene after was the same as the rest of them, pretty anticlimactic. Back at my shop, I purchased the rest of the statues, filling out my trophy rack. Then I go by the gift wrap table and walk through that tutorial. I realized how exquisite my income is on day 48, so I decide to focus more on sales in order to get my XP up. I buy a bunch of book racks again and start reorganizing. This nearly took me an hour to do. Just moving stuff around, buying stock, placing books where they need to be, all very organized and neat. The idea is to have everything in stock so customers pretty much have to buy something, since whatever they're looking for will be there 100%. While I do have a ton of money, I don't have enough to buy stock of everything in the game, so I just focus on manga first, all lined up by volume. So it looks extremely satisfying. We follow up on a bunch of random quests as they're stretched out across days as it gets super confusing for no reason. I wasn't even really following the stories at this point, I'm just going through the motions. I spend the rest of my money buying licenses so I can get closer to stocking everything else up, and on day 48, I move on from manga to manga. While ordering stock, I get the achievement for purchasing 500 items in the comic verse shop. And while filling up shelves, I realized that there's a ton of references that I don't have any idea in the slightest what it's referencing. I gotta tap in. Throughout the day, I end up purchasing the rest of the manga and get them up on shelves. We still gotta fill out the mature and the comic section, as I start with the former. But for some reason, halfway through, I turn around and work on the comic section, and then on day 51, after getting an achievement for dusting a bunch of stuff off, I finish up with the mature section, reaching player level 20 in the process. After completing that, I've officially stocked every single comic in the game, as the last thing that I need to do is set up one of each of the merchandise just for the sake of doing so. It was on day 52 when I got the achievement for 200 mature comic sales, as I put some money into upgrading my cleaner, and at this point, upgrades have reached the $10,000 mark. I'm not sure how worth it is, but I really don't have much else to do with my money, so why not? Speaking of money to waste, I go to this paint shop around the corner that I had completely neglected up until this point, as I buy black marble to start customizing the walls in my manga area with Damascus for my floors. The mature section gets its own custom paint job as I reach level 21 on day 3, following up by buying all of the expansions available in the blueprint app. Here, I'm supposed to get an achievement for it, but I think there's a problem with the late game achievement tracking. I'm not exactly sure what happened. I do some more side quests until on day 54, I randomly get the achievement for cleaning 30 stains with my mop while I was at my PC. Aside from hitting level 22, the next significant thing that happened was on day 55 when I get that achievement that I had skipped earlier, as I follow up with another achievement for buying 75 decor items. I use those decor items to spruce the place up a little bit, as for the upstairs lot, I placed down a ton of reading tables, just to have somewhere to place down all the decorations that I bought. I began maxing out all of their likability scores to 3 stars, then finally, on day 57, I have my very first encounter with a naughty kid trying to get into the mature section. I can't believe it took this long to run into him, but 13 hours in, I finally get that achievement. On day 58, I realize I have way too many decorations, so I just start throwing them out. I don't got enough space for everything, nor do I care to make space for them to have places to be. Looking at my total stats, I've made over $2 million in revenue, and $1.5 million of that has been off of merch. I hit level 24 while AFK, and I buy 2 more of my skill upgrades. Looking at my customers move, I begin thinking that having so many options is actually slowing them down. Yeah, we have customers, but I'm assuming that there's a limit to how many customers we can have in the store at once. If they're taking forever in the store, that's clogging up the space, and that results in less sales and less XP. So on day 59, I take everything down, fully committing to just trying to get all of these achievements.
I hope I'm not making a bad decision here. Hopefully we don't end up serving no customers because nobody can find what they want.
I was indeed making a bad decision. I throw everything out and solely focus on selling merch. The plushies, of course, to maximize both XP and money. I skipped the next 3 days just by starting my shift and ending it immediately. I just wanted to cancel the shipping time for this large book rack, but turns out it was trash. Not worth skipping the days at all. On day 63, I start to panic a little bit because when I don't have comics, I don't get XP from selling them. But I also miss out on getting XP from the mature comic envelopes and the reading tables upstairs. I tried grading comics to sell on day 64, but that doesn't give me any XP neither. While scrolling through the wall of achievements for something that might give me some XP, I see a category for blackjack
wins and losses. Shout out to Grill Master on YouTube, as I looked at one of his vids to see where the gambling area was, and it's between that lot where we fought fake Naruto and this little other building right next to it. So at nighttime, I headed there. The first game that I played is this card choosing game. I didn't really understand it, but in the time that I was trying to figure it out, the dealer had kicked us out for gambling for too long. The game's not gonna let you go broke from this, so shout out to them. On day 65, I admit my strategy was trash. I have to revert to selling comics. My new game plan is to just place down the book racks and have my stalkers fill up empty shelves wherever. The organization was very satisfying on the go around, but I couldn't be bothered to do all of that again. I spent almost $300,000 upgrading my employees, but now they should be moving at max efficiency. I ordered stock for my manga and then my mature section, but before I get the chance to fill out the rest, I see that I'm getting pretty low on money, so I just re-up on my money makers going on to the next day. On day 66, I stumble across this gift box feature in the exclusive shop. It lets us purchase these gift boxes, shocker, filled with these random exclusive items, but all of them seem to be decoration and I don't care. On day 67, I start to go AFK. It's just a matter of time while I get XP and money in the background, so across the next couple of days, I'm stocking up on more comics and making sure that I have enough space to hold them. I do my own fair share of manual restocking just to speed up the process, as the plushie sales in the background are keeping the funds going. On day 69, I start filling up the American comics section. I hit level 27 the next day, as I'm making more money than ever. It's day 71 when I was snooping around on this machine where it asked me to insert a book. I put one in and get a battery in return. As the next morning, after doing some dusting, I put in another book to get my second old battery. I throw them both over in this Gundam Technologies machine, and yeah, I don't know what's going on. At this point, I'm pretty much done with this game. On day 73, I finally get the achievement for dusting 30 objects. The tracking for these achievements are clearly off. I don't know what happened, but this problem persists through the end of the game. But luckily, we do have in-game tracking, which is much more accurate. At this point, I just start skipping through days in order to get more duster activations, eventually hitting level 28 on day 79. My method of going to a new day in order to get more duster activations stopped working, so I stopped spamming through days like that. I hit $1 million while AFK on day 90, and then after hitting level 29, I set my sights on maxing out the skill tree. I need to hit level 31, as it takes 6 in-game days AFK for 99% of the time. And finally, on day 97, it was 11 a.m. when I hit level 31.
And finally, we hit level 31. So the last two things that I need to do, remember, Sandal, we've used this 25 times. Duster, we used this 50 times. We've done this already. If we check the achievement board, look, Sandal used 60. But over here, I need to do it 25 times. That don't make sense. Duster used 263, but it says I need to use it 25 times. Stop it. First, I got to buy the final skill, which is right here. I needed to be level 31 to reduce the amount of perverted kids' chances of spawning. And look at this. Hold on. How many have these popped? 90 kids. 2 of them have spawned throughout my about 100 days. 2. Like what?
For the very last achievement, all I need to do is order 250 decorations. As finally, placing the order for 100 mini cacti, I unlock Interior Nerd. We ended the game with $1.9 million in cacti everywhere. In just under 100 days on this game, we earned $5.6 million total, as Max finally comes to a close.